being locked in a hotel room and having to service 15 to 20 men. These are girls. And I hate to use the word service, but I don't know what other you can use. They were being raped 15 to 20 times a day, day after day after day after day after day. They didn't get holidays off. They didn't get nights off. They didn't work 8 to 5. They didn't work, Monday through Friday. They were locked in the room and highly drugged, and one male at a time, disgusting individuals coming in and raping these individuals. It is our mission. We've stood up and standing up even a bigger task force within DHS to go and find all 450,000 kids. It is my biggest passion that I have. And it should have, let me explain this too. Almost used a bad word there. What frustrates me the most is that this was preventable. And no one can argue that. This was 100% preventable. And we have perpetrators that are doing the most horrific things to kids. And as a father to 6, and 3 beautiful girls, when you see this, there's evil in the world. There's evil in the world. And we fed it. The Biden administration fed it for 4 years and took the innocent that's in my little girls' eyes, the innocence that's in our kids' eyes, that we pray to God never has to deal with this. That innocent is permanently stolen. And we're trying to just restore some type of comfort to these young girls. But let me explain to you, young boys too. Unfortunately, we're seeing a rise of young boys being trafficked. And it disturbs you.
Well, I go back to my point. Clearly, you're passionate about this, and I understand why. I'm a dad of 6 as well, 3 boys, 3 girls, so I know exactly where you're coming from on that. And I can only imagine what you've actually seen. You can't unsee that. And obviously the biggest victims here are those kids and those little girls and even older girls being trafficked and being.
Our punishments for these individuals isn't enough.
That's I want to keep talking about that and what the punishment will be and has been for those people. And there's a lot more to discuss there. And you're right, it was completely preventable. And for 4 years, we screamed off the top of our lungs about this, and this was the leading issue to fight against, and still is. So thank you for your passion on that. I have a follow-up question here real quick on the DeConcini Port of Entry, which is in Arizona in the Nogales area. This is a highly trafficked port of entry, where I want to thank you and the Commissioner Frost for your response in my letter earlier this year and your commitment to working with GSA to prioritize this. If you have any idea of a timeline, I would love to hear that. And as I close in my last 30 seconds here, and we can talk about this timeline, and if I can just get a written response from you guys and what we're looking at. Let me just close with this in my last 30 seconds. I'm a naturalized citizen. This year actually marks my 20th anniversary as a U.S. citizen. I became a citizen in 2006. So I know the process well firsthand. I know that because I was elected to Congress 16 years after becoming a citizen of this nation. No other country in the world would ever give me that opportunity. No other country in the world would ever give any of us that opportunity. And it's great to hear some of the perspectives of foreigners coming into the World Cup and seeing what we're all about. They especially get excited about the free refills, which is, I think it excites a lot of people here. But the American dream is alive. It's alive because it's been kept alive, first of all, for our veterans, but also for the men and women that keep us safe. And the process to immigrate, the process to become a citizen in U.S. CIS and what they go through, it's an overload of work. I know it well, again, because we went through the process. So while becoming a citizen is an incredible privilege and it should never be taken for granted, I valued every time, and whatever work my parents and myself had to do to become citizens, we'll do it 10 times over to do it again, because this is the best nation in the world, and I'd rather be here than anywhere else. So in terms of the efficiency, can you talk a little bit about, as you close, what your agency needs from this subcommittee in order to make the improvements necessary for the process of people immigrating here legally and becoming citizens?
We are improving the bureaucracy and the redundancy in the system, but there is, as you said, there is a way to become legal. If you choose not to do that, you're making a conscious decision, and I can't help you on that situation. If you don't want to become a legal citizen, there's a way to be in this country legally, but you have to follow the laws that Congress passed and that we enforce. I don't pick and choose, I enforce. But there is a right way to stay in this country, and there's a right way to become a citizen in this country, and you can't go around that. There is more that we need. We've been working for immigration reform in this body. Really, the last time it was done, it was in 1959. Why was the last time it was done in 1959? Because we make politics out of it. It's the right, it's the left. It's the Democrats, Republicans. One party is in charge and the other party doesn't want to help, and the other party is in charge, the other party doesn't want to help, and there's no common ground, but yet we always talk about them. I'm out of that game now. I just simply enforce it. But then we start playing games with which laws you want me to enforce and which laws you don't want me to enforce. If you don't want me to enforce the laws, then pass a law to say that that law can't be enforced. That's fine. Until then, I'm going to enforce the laws.
Thank you, sir. And see you in Arizona soon.
Yes, we will make that. We'll make that happen. We'll put it on the list.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, now you're back.
Thank you. We're going to have a committee remedial timekeeping class next week sometime for certain members of the committee.
Sir, it's called a gavel.
Well, actually, that's interesting talk coming from a guy from the Senate who hasn't done an appropriations bill since Christ was a corporal.
I had that one coming, sir.
Madam Ranking Member, the floor is yours.
We'll pay no attention to the remediation session, Mr. Chairman. I do appreciate, Mr. Secretary, your concern about the lost children, but I also want to remind people that let's not forget what was a Trump administration policy initiated by Stephen Miller, which was to let us separate children from their families at the border, because this would be a way to curtail or to stop immigration. Separating children from their families, how to hurt them the most. I asked and had a phone conversation with Secretary Azar at the time. I know I was in my living room with my 2-year-old grandson on my lap trying to have this conversation, and I asked him if there was a way in which he had a list